Welcome back to Everyman Prepping. A big hello to all my old-time subscribers and the many new subscribers we've had recently. Hope everybody's having a great day as we get into this subject of supply lines. You know, we have a looming UPS strike coming up, maybe within a week if they can't figure things out. And then a new strike possibility with a very old trucking company called Yellow and how that might impact shipping. So we'll talk about that and, what you should be doing so you're not caught up in this. If you order stuff, how it doesn't get lost in the strike shuffle over there, so how it doesn't get maybe stolen because it's sitting on a dock somewhere. And do you need to look for new supply lines just in case? And then stay to the very end. After all that, we're going to talk about the supply issues in the Black Sea because of the grain deal being cut, being backed out by Russia. Some news came out, some new statements from Russia today, some reaction from the United States and from Ukraine, and a little update on some more news. So stay to the end of the video for that. And before we get started, please like, comment, and share the video. We love to see your comments that you have on this subject or any subject and questions you may have. And also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Well, let's get on to these articles here and go through them really quickly. All right, so as you can see here, the UPS and the Teamsters are going to return to the table. This is good news. They've been taking a few weeks off, kind of let's settle things down. They're, at odds. Everybody's digging their heels in. The UPS company on the management side, they're training, replacement workers or scabs to take the, position of the drivers for the union drivers. And the union saw that as, well, you don't want to negotiate because you're going to already start replacing us. But they have decided to come together and meet next week. It says here that UPS and the Teamsters unions will return to the bargaining table next week after what was roughly a 3-week hiatus in an effort to hammer out a new 5-year contract just days before this one expires, which is at the end of the month. It says here from the UPS that we're prepared to increase our industry-leading pay and benefits. Basically it started down here. It says they were kind of stalled out over part-time wage increases. So if the union is being true and they're willing to prepare to increase it, maybe this gets done and we have no issues. That would mean that you don't have to worry about the stuff you order off of Amazon, which I know they deliver a lot themselves, or other websites, anybody that ships UPS. If you own a business and you ship UPS, it'll be great if they work it out, because if they don't, well, you're going to be in trouble. So, you should be working on a backup plan. Are you going to use FedEx? Are you going to use any of the other carriers out there? You're going to go to the regular U.S. postal system. Have a backup plan if you're a business. Even if it's a small business for yourself, like you do some eBay stuff, or you sell stuff off of Amazon or Facebook or Nextdoor, whatever you do. If you have a small side hustle, but you've been using UPS, well, have a backup plan, be ready to go, so you don't lose your customers. They're very vital now because it's hard to get money now. People are low on funds, so if they're buying your thing, they're going to want to get it. And if you're the one buying stuff, find out how they're shipping things. If it gets close to end of next week and you're ordering stuff, you might want to see if you could select FedEx or select another carrier, because you don't want your stuff left out on a dock somewhere and get stolen. And which leads to this next story here, talking about the trucking company called Yellow. It says a Yellow bankruptcy could uproot supply chains in real time. So you got a Yellow truck there. You've probably seen them out on the highways. They're a less than full truckload shipper. So if you can't fill a whole semi-truck, whole container, they'll take a partial load and they'll ship it. So, there's a lot of need for that, but they're having trouble. It says Yellow Corp has failed to make its required pension contributions for June, and it's looking not to pay in July as well. So the union says you're not going to put into our pension, into our health care, so we're going to strike in order to make you do that, which will probably cause it to go bankrupt, because any company that's not paying into that probably doesn't have the money to, because it's not a labor issue. They're not, doing it to get back at the union. It has nothing to do with that. It seems like they have really economic issues, and they just can't pay it right now. But it says the company owes $50 million for June. It's like $50 million a month. It's a ton of money. It says it's a large sum for a company in financial distress. I agree. So if they have financial troubles, $50 million is a ton of money. It says that they have about $100 million in cash, according to their latest 8K filing on July 7th. So some of you might be saying, well, heck, they can pay it. In fact, they'd still have $50 million left over. Well, that eats into about half their cash flow. Will the company stay afloat with that or not? Who knows? But they're looking to not pay that, in which the union says, well, we're going to strike. Someone did it too. So they've been around forever. If you look at this, 1924, almost 100 years. One year short of a 100-year-old company, having financial trouble in this, economy that we're in. It says, this is what I was talking about before, that if you ordered stuff, you want to make sure what carrier you pick now, because if they go on strike or bankrupt, you're going to lose your stuff. And it says here, no shipping customer wants to be caught in a yellow shutdown. There's a big chance that shippers won't see their freight for months, if ever. It says here, Yellow's network would likely be abandoned at terminal locations across the country. So if your stuff's abandoned, no one's going to look out for it. It's ripe for theft, damage, or just never showing up. Let's see. It also says there would be no chance of getting in touch with anyone from customer service to find out where your freight is, much less recover it. So, like I said, if you're a shipper and you're shipping stuff, don't put it on one of these. Even if it might get resolved, you want to have enough time to find some other carrier to get your stuff there, because you don't want your customers to not get their stuff, and then you have to replace it, which costs you money, could put you in bankruptcy. And if you're ordering stuff, you want to get your stuff. This says that if they do go bankrupt, market volatility is likely to be a factor. I would say agree with that. Although they say that there's a lot of carriers that could take all of Yellow's customers, basically. There's a lot of what's going on in the shipping. There's a lot of space for them to be absorbed. So it could definitely be absorbed. It's just going to be a short-term chaos. And like I said, some goods and services might be lost in the meantime. It says, Yellow largely relies on its own Teamsters powers to run line haul services between terminals. The loss of this capacity could play havoc on the broader freight network for a few months as the routing guides get reset. So, it's not that, there's no capacity of other companies to, if Yellow goes bankrupt, to take this on. There's 30,000 employees that lose their job. That'd be very unfortunate. And it might be hard to find a job because like I just said, there's a lot of capacity. There's a lot of truckers not doing much. That's how they can absorb all of Yellow's customers, still get the freight. But as it said there, a few months of, losing your stuff, a few months of chaos. So avoid all that, both with UPS and the Yellow. You give it into July. Like I said, have your backup plans for both buying or receiving or shipping, whatever you may be doing. Just have a backup plan. And this will also give you a chance to say, well, can I switch to local? This is more of your ordering stuff and it comes on UPS. Can I get my stuff local, and get it and support the local economy? It might be a good chance to look at that. Can what I get here cost about the same as if I bought it online or somewhere and it's shipped through UPS or somewhere, and something can happen to it. So looking to broaden, if things really get bad and you can't buy stuff online or it's just too expensive, you're going to need a local community, a local infrastructure. Know where things are in your community that maybe you buy online now that you can get locally in case you need to do that. So that's my advice for the local problems we're having in the United States with this, shipping issues right now. So let's go, like I said, as I promised, we're going to look at the Black Sea and what's going on over there right now. So let's look at this interactive map of Ukraine and the Black Sea. Here we got Ukraine up here. You can see these are the 4 or 5 territories taken over by Russia, all in red here. Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, the Kherson region, and Crimea. And then, here you have the Black Sea. Turkey controls the transit point between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean through Istanbul. And here's Odessa, the last major large port Ukraine controls outside of Russian, the ones that have taken over, where the grain would be coming through. And what's been happening is last 2 nights, probably in response to the Kerch Bridge, which was over here being hit, Russia's been bombing with missiles, drones, going into Odessa, major attacks going in there, attacking the port, attacking the grain silos, all kinds of stuff going on there. And Russia put out today that, basically we'll look at this as the U.S. response. So, Moscow put out that all ships entering the Black Sea headed towards Ukrainian ports would be treated as possibly carrying military equipment. So any ship they see going into Odessa or another Ukrainian port, Russia's going to treat them as possibly carrying wartime material and treat it as a military target. So that's what Russia put out today. And here's the U.S. response to what they said. Basically, the U.S. says, we're not doing anything, not us, we're not helping, we're just going to let other people do that. It says the U.S. has no plans to assist ships in entering Ukrainian ports. That was from that White House press secretary. And then it also confirmed by the National Security Council, John Kirby, the spokesman, said earlier, this he said earlier this week, they ruled out using U.S. military assets to protect shipments of grain in or out of Ukrainian ports. Instead, the U.S. will, quote unquote, work with other countries to ensure the grain gets where it needs to go. I have no idea what that means, work with other countries to make sure it grows, because as you saw from the map, you've got maybe Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey. Those are your other countries, right? And well, let's look at this here. Turkey says that they are opposed to the Ukrainian call for the Black Sea escorts. Ankara will not jeopardize its warships to help Kiev export grain, a source has told them. So this is the Turkish Navy. They have a sizable Navy. It's in the Black Sea, but they said, they also said, hey, we're not going to do that. We don't want to get our ships sunk by Russia. So as of right now, according to the source, and it came out of Bloomberg, that, Turkey doesn't want to escort these Ukrainian ships either. It says here, Turkey would not jeopardize its naval ships and was instead focusing on trying to restore the grain deal with Russia's participation through diplomatic means. I think Erdogan and Putin are due to meet in August, and they'll probably talk about it. But until then, I don't think you're going to see Turkey escorting ships. They don't want to get anything sunk right now. So if Turkey's out and U.S. is out, you're not going to. The only other thing that Ukraine came up with this idea. Well, why don't we truck our stuff from this is Ukraine here all the way through there into Romania, use a Romanian or a Bulgarian port, and take it out. So that's a possibility. Instead of just loading the ships here, they'd have to truck all the grain to either Romania or Bulgaria and then ship it out. I don't know if Russia would consider that the same thing. Ships going into ports in Bulgaria or Romania, but that's a possibility way of getting it out. It'll be a lot more expensive, obviously, because you're trucking it across land. You're loading it from truck or rail. I don't even know if there's rail, but if there is, truck or rail. Then you got to reload that into a ship and then take it out. Possibility, I don't know if Romania or Bulgaria would be up for that. We'll have to see, but that's basically the only option. And lastly, second to last year, it's just not the Kerch Bridge attack is why Russia doesn't want to renew this the grain agreement. This came from TASS and basically Russian state-sponsored media, but this is what they're saying. The second part stipulating unfreezing of Russian exports of food and fertilizers, connecting the Russian Agricultural Bank back to SWIFT, the resumption of supplies of agricultural equipment, components, service maintenance, the resumption of the work of the Toledo-Odessa ammonia pipeline, and a number of other steps need to happen before Russia goes back to the grain deal. According to TASS, it says this part of the package agreement was not implemented as stated by Moscow. So according to Moscow, all that stuff was supposed to be done, and they would have kept the grain deal open, but none of that stuff happened. So that's why they're shutting it down. They probably want it to happen. So real quickly, that was basically they want food and fertilizer sanctions lifted. They want their agricultural bank hooked up back up to SWIFT, opening up a pipeline, ammonia pipeline, and a few other things. So we'll see if the West opens up to do that to get the grain deal done or not. We'll see. And lastly, we have this news that you've probably heard lately that in the Kharkiv region, let me zoom in up there. It's up here, Kharkiv, I guess it's pronounced. There's Kyiv right there. But there we go, zoom in for you. There's Belgorod where there's been some attacks. Every once in a while, Ukraine will launch drones. They've had a few incursions of men going in here, what they call mercenaries, into Belgorod region. But supposedly there's 100,000 Russian troops gathering over in this region to come at Kharkiv. Almost 1,000 tanks, anti-aircraft, artillery pieces, 100,000 men. That's a pretty sizable force. That's the reports coming in. You probably heard about it. If not, that's what they're doing on the northern front. That would be a big change just to holding the south. Do they want Kharkiv, and do they want to come down to Dnipro and just, into Zaporizhia and carve this section out? Or is that a route they want to take from here and go straight into Kiev? I don't know. Is it a feint to draw troops, back this way? Not that they really need to, because the counteroffensive really is going nowhere. They've had some mild gains. It's really stalled out. So all the troops are here. I don't know if they want to try to pull them away so they can advance further. Who knows? But it looks like something is brewing. So we'll keep our eye on that. And like I said earlier, put in the comments below, what you're doing about the shipping. what you're thinking about this, the grain deal, and lastly, what about this 100,000 troops massing? Anything you'd like to talk about, put it in the comments below. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.